Hi everybody, Kat here. So today we're going to be talking and reviewing another airbrush makeup line. It is AeroBlend Airbrush Makeup. A good friend of mine, the Airbrush Makeup Guru, actually did a blog and full review on this line. I'll link all the information for you along with his awesome YouTube video where he did a full face makeup tutorial. And it really kind of got my interest piqued on whether or not I would like this makeup. So I decided to go to their website. I ordered their personal kit. It came with 4 colors along with their color match guarantee, which was awesome. I did utilize that, by the way. And so now I've done a open box all the way through spray testing for you. And yeah, if you want to know more, stay tuned. My AeroBlend kit in today, I'll be testing that. Here's what it looks like when I open up the box. All of the guides. So let's see how it does. Okay, so here is what the compressor looks like once you put it together. So you've got your airbrush here, you've got your compressor, you've got basically a cord here that is retractable in nature. So it just retracts, which is nice. Then you don't have to worry about a lot of loose cords. This makeup, of course, was what came with the kit. That was an additional purchase just so that I could test the makeup, the fluidity of the makeup. And this particular compressor has 3 different speeds. You have low, medium, and high. And if you look over here up in the corner, you'll see that I've got a picture of the back of the unit just so you can see what the PSI is rated for. So now what I'm going to do, just so that you can see the lights on this unit, is I'm actually going to turn the light off. And you can see it's got a nice glowing light. And you should have 3 lights to indicate what speed this particular airbrush is running. So let's see how easy it is to press the center of this to get the unit going. So you can see right there, you're on 1 light. That's 2 lights. And that is 3 lights there. So you can hear the compressor, how it kind of cranks up with every push of that button just to get it at a higher level for the PSI. And of course, one more time you shut it off. So right now I have got it on a low pressure. You can see the 1 little light there. And basically I've just got some water in the airbrush itself. So I'm not really sure if you guys can see how it's coming out. It's always so hard to see how that flows out, but actually that's really nice. On a low pressure, you've got some really good flow coming out of this airbrush. And again, I know it's super hard. It's just like you got to get the light just right, which is tough. But let me see if I can do it this way and if we can see. So, there we go. Much better. You see that? And that's on low. So it's got pretty good flow. Now we switched it to a medium, which you can see the light there. And I'm going to see if I can get the same angle so you can see the flow of the airbrush. And I'm sorry, I've got water on the tip of the nozzle. There we go. And again, lightly on the lever. But you can see how the PSI on medium is pushing out that water a little bit faster. So now we have got it on the highest setting. And we're going to try to see if we can do this test again. This is not easy, I'm just going to say. And there you go, lightly on the lever. And again, you've got a nice flow coming out of that nozzle right here, as you can see. So that works out really well. This little unit, not so bad. It's a simple design. It's really clean. It's got a nice holder on the side of the unit for your airbrush with a retractable cord. It's there's nothing really to get in your way. So pretty much for the functionality of the unit, yeah, I mean, it's nice and clean and looks like it's simple to use. So let's check to see how the makeups do next. So we're going to start out with low pressure, and we are going to try the 020, which is in the medium line, just to see how this works. So I'm going to come over here for just a moment, and we're just going to lightly put down some makeup and see how that looks. Doing light passes as we go. It's a nice sheer fluidity, seems to be great as far as it coming out of the unit. So nice easy passes. I'll get a little bit closer so you can see that. But you can see with every pass that I do, no problems with the makeup coming out whatsoever. And yeah, so everything seems to be great. a pretty color. And then as far as that, you see how it's wet here? So one of the things I would tell you is you're going to have to work on a couple of things. If you're trying to blot out acne or anything on your skin, you may want to make sure to give it some extra drying time and or hold your airbrush a little further back and do small passes like this. You see how that's a lot different? You don't have that same big wet spot as you just saw just a few minutes ago. N25, which again is in the medium line. And we're just going to go over here and do a little spray test. Can you see the difference in the two as far as the color? Fairly similar, but you would be amazed that when you blend colors between two different colors, you can get ideally a great match for your skin. So again, really nice, no problems on the lowest setting. Fluidity on this makeup is pretty easy. Alright, so now what we're going to be doing is the N20. Again, it's in the medium line that I got. And we're just going to come right up underneath here and do the same thing. Light passes, coming through. Looks really nice on low setting. And again, can you slightly see the difference in all the colors? Again, they're close, but they're different. And there you go. And again, we're just going to come over here and I'm going to do this in layers. Nice, easy, soft passes. And if you can tell, that's just a little more olive. So you're probably wondering what's the difference between the O and the N. If you're wondering what the O and the N stand for, it's simply olive tones and neutral tones. So when we take a deeper look at AeroBlend's makeup, they actually give you a list of all the ingredients here. What I absolutely love about this, it's vegan. There's no mineral oils, no fragrance, no parabens, no silicone, and no animal testing. So I'm loving that 100%. AeroBlend also has a promise on its color. If your colors are not correct, they will actually send you an additional color, up to 3 additional colors actually, which I think is pretty phenomenal. 6 mil, so it's the minis, but still it's understanding and getting your right match so that if you buy a larger bottle of makeup, that you're going to have exactly what you need. Quick start guide. This would be great for the beginners who are just starting to airbrush. And of course, if you have any questions, you can actually reach out to them via email at help@aeroblend.com. So let's look at these beautiful colors. Okay, we are going to start with Daydreaming. And, you know, first I just want to tell you, I've put these colors on a white piece of paper, number one, simply because on my skin, it's going to look totally different. And I wanted you to get a true sense of the colors. We have Daydreaming, which is a blush. You can see that right there. Peaches and Cream, and that just is really a pretty color. You could probably even use either one of those for eyeshadows as well. Then here you have Nude Beach. You can see that has a brown undertone to it. And right there, can you see that shimmer? I mean, it's pretty. It's subtle, but it's really pretty. It's Champagne Toast. This is the color that I was talking about that I loved, that my friend in his video actually put out. If you haven't checked him out, please do. Airbrush Makeup Guru. He's awesome. But look at that. I love that color. So anyway, I think any of these you could use for shadows as well as contouring and or highlights and blush. But beautiful colors. So as I'm breaking down my final thoughts, let's start with the air compressor. The air compressor is really simple. It's got a nice retractable cord on it. It's clean, it's pretty, it sits on your counter. No bells and whistles, just pretty simple. There are 3 speeds to it. And the light indicators on it, as I showed you in my open box, will tell you what speed you're on. So basically you have 20, 25, and 30 PSI on this unit. I did not measure the PSI, but that is what's listed here on the back of the compressor. So, you know, are you ever going to use 30 PSI on your face? Probably not. Now, if you're doing some other things, could you use 30 PSI or 25 PSI? You might. So you do have that option. For airbrush makeup and, you know, the eye area, all of that, you're going to be using the lever very softly and you're going to be using the lowest pressure. But the other thing on this that I will say, I found myself not hitting it in the right spot every time I wanted to change it from one to the other, meaning you start with the low, medium, high, and in order to turn it off, you had to hit it 3 times. And I found myself kind of doing this at first until I finally found that sweet spot to turn it off. So that would be the only thing I have to say about the compressor. Other than that, I mean, it's a simple compressor. It's easy to use. It sits rather well on your counter, and it's not very noisy either. So let's talk about their color match guarantee. You get up to 3 additional colors in 6 mil, up to 3, if the colors that you received is not a good match for you. Now, some of you are probably able to just take a bottle right out of the box and it's a good match. For me, not so lucky. I have to do a little bit of custom color blending, and that's so that I get what I feel like is a good match for me. Now, everyone's a little bit different, and sometimes in the winter, I may be one blend, and in the summer, I may be another blend. So it's nice to be able to custom blend the colors to get what you feel is a good shade for you, no matter what time of the season you're in. So I really like their color match guarantee. I thought it was fabulous. So what did I think about the makeup itself? My skin is super dry, and this makeup is very hydrating. The experience in applying this makeup is so different from the other airbrush makeup I use because this one takes just a few moments to set and dry. Now, I never use primer. It is not what I do. I know that a lot of people use primer, and I might use primer on, you know, a client for various reasons. A lot of people use primer, setting powders, all of that. I just don't do that. I feel like when I get a bottle of airbrush makeup, I'm just good to go. Put it on, lasts all day, and I'm set. That's the way I tested it, but then I also tested it with a primer, and I'll tell you why. In my normal profession, I go out into a lot of various environments and, you know, wearing a mask, doing all of that, I just didn't want to be talking to somebody and then, you know, coming home and having marks all over my face because my makeup came off because I was melting because it was so hot. Primer, not a problem. Put it on, worked, lasted all day. Then I said, okay, well, how's it going to work without the primer? So I did it that way too. Temperature is almost the same, about a degree or 2 less. Not a problem. Took my mask off, didn't leave any rings, didn't melt off my face, stayed right on there, set well, and I was pretty happy. So not only was it hydrating, it did actually last me all day. So I was really surprised, as I said. I wasn't really sure. And again, it is because of how when you apply this, it's not instant dry. So as soon as it hits your skin, I'm used to it just setting, like boom, it's done. This one takes just a little bit for it to set, and then once it's set, you're good to go. So yes, I was actually pleasantly surprised, and I enjoyed this makeup. My skin is mature, it is dry. If your skin is something other than what I have, your experience may be different. You have to remember, and I'm going to reiterate this one more time, if you're using this particular makeup, it does not dry on contact. Light and sure passes, build your makeup coverage, and then let it set, and then you should be good to go. But if you overspray and if you're in a hurry, you may find that you will not like the effect that you see because it will not be smooth. That's just me being totally honest with you. It does not dry on contact, and again, I think that's because of the ingredients within the makeup, and that's what makes the makeup so special. It is vegan, it is cruelty-free, which is close to my heart because I use vegan and cruelty-free products. So yeah, I actually enjoyed this makeup a lot, and I would give it a thumbs up. If you have an experience with AeroBlend Airbrush Makeup, you'd like to leave me some comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.